All right, so today we're going to dive into a really fascinating new workflow for developers. What if instead of just relying on a single AI coding assistant, you could actually assemble a whole team of AI models to work together, challenge each other, and in the end, write much, much better code? Let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the problem we're trying to solve. Lots of developers are using AI these days, but the results, they're not always perfect. There's a pretty common frustration that comes with relying on just one AI model to get the job done.
I mean, just think about your own experience for a minute. Have you ever been there? You ask an AI for some code, and you get something back that makes you think, I really wish I could get a second opinion on this, or that it had just thought about the problem from a different angle. It's a super common feeling.
So what does this frustration actually look like in practice? Well, it usually falls into one of two buckets. On the one hand, you get code that's just, not finished. It leaves you to fill in all the blanks. Or you get the exact opposite problem, this insanely over-engineered solution for what should have been a really simple task. Either way, it's a huge waste of your time.
And this whole idea, it didn't just come out of nowhere. It was born from a very real, very tricky situation. A developer was facing this complex issue that was spread across two separate code bases they'd never even seen before. Now, that's a tough spot for any person, let alone a single AI trying to come up with a perfect fix in one shot.
So, faced with that challenge, instead of just prompting the AI again and again, the developer tried something completely different. They set up what was basically a peer review, but for AIs. And this is where the whole thing gets really cool.
And right here, this is the big aha moment. The question totally shifts. It's not about which AI is the best anymore. It's about how can we make different AIs work together. It's a leap from thinking about a single assistant to thinking about a whole collaborative team, where each member has its own strengths.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's break down the four-step workflow that makes this whole AI collaboration a reality.
It breaks down really logically. First, one AI generates a plan. Then, a second AI comes in to challenge that plan and create its own alternative. After that, a third AI acts as a neutral judge to pick the winning plan. And finally, an AI takes that winning plan and executes it. It's basically a structured debate, but the output is code.
And here's the actual lineup, the specific players on this AI team. Claude Opus was the planner, the one who came up with the initial idea. Then Codex 5.1 Max stepped in as the challenger to review that plan and propose its own. The impartial judge was Gemini 3 Pro. And once Gemini picked a winner, Codex came back, this time as the implementer, to actually write the code.
So, what did the judge decide? The verdict was clear. The challenger's plan, from Codex, was better. But the really interesting part is why. It was just simpler and more direct. The first plan suggested this really complex workaround for authentication between the two repos. But the Codex plan found a much more elegant, native method that the first AI had completely missed. This is that crucial quality control step in action. The first idea didn't just get a pass, it actually had to win the debate.
Okay, so the process works, but what's the actual result? What are the benefits and what are the costs of using a whole team of AIs instead of just one? Let's take a look at the final trade-offs.
And this lays it out perfectly. Yeah, coordinating a team of AIs is going to be a little bit slower than just getting one answer from one model. But look at the payoff. The confidence you have in the final result is way higher. And so is the actual quality of the code.
And that's really the crucial point here. You're trading a little bit of time for a massive boost in quality and confidence. For any kind of complex or mission-critical task, that is a trade that most developers would be more than happy to make. It's not just about getting an answer, it's about getting an answer you can actually trust. Let's just zoom out for a second here. This whole experiment isn't just a clever trick. It's actually hinting at a really fundamental shift in how we might be working with artificial intelligence in the very, very near future.
We can pretty much give this concept a name, an AI team. It's a structured system where you assign different AIs specialized jobs, planner, challenger, judge, and have them work together. The entire goal is to leverage their collective brainpower to come up with something that's way better than any single model could have done on its own.
And this, of course, leaves us with a huge, fascinating question. If AI models can start working as collaborative teams, what does that mean for us, the humans in the loop? Maybe the developer's role starts to evolve away from just being a coder and more towards being the manager, the architect, or even the conductor of these powerful AI teams. It's a pretty interesting future to think about.